Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that has shaken the global stage, a moment of chaos, destruction, and disbelief. The situation in Russia has taken a dramatic turn as reports flood in that Ukraine has launched a devastating strike on the Crimean Bridge, the massive structure that connects Russia to the occupied Crimean Peninsula. This isn't just an attack on infrastructure. It's a symbolic blow to Russia's pride, its logistics, and its control over Crimea. What we're witnessing right now may go down as one of the most significant military events of the entire war. From the very beginning of this conflict, the Crimean Bridge stood as a symbol of Russian dominance. Built after the 2014 annexation of Crimea, it was a project that Putin himself personally championed. A physical link between Russia and the territory it claimed as its own. It represented permanence, strength, and control. But now, images and videos circulating online show smoke, fire, and sections of the bridge crumbling into the waters below. Russia's symbol of power is now a twisted wreck of metal and concrete. Eyewitnesses describe the moment as something out of a nightmare. In the early hours of the morning, powerful explosions ripped through the bridge, shaking the entire area. The sound was heard miles away. Flames lit up the night sky as debris fell into the Kerch Strait. Vehicles caught fire, and the entire structure was quickly shut down. Panic spread across the region. Russian state media scrambled to control the narrative, but the footage spreading on social platforms told a different story: total chaos. The timing of this strike couldn't be more critical. With the Russian army struggling on multiple fronts and facing mounting pressure, Ukraine's decision to hit the bridge seems carefully calculated. This wasn't just an act of retaliation. It was a strategic masterstroke. The bridge was vital for supplying Russian troops in southern Ukraine. Tanks, ammunition, fuel, and reinforcements all relied on that route. By targeting it, Ukraine didn't just destroy a bridge, it disrupted Russia's entire supply chain. Military analysts around the world are calling this move a turning point. The psychological impact alone is enormous. The Crimean Bridge was more than concrete and steel. It was a symbol of Russia's claim that Crimea was untouchable. For years, Russian propaganda portrayed it as proof that Crimea was permanently theirs. But now that illusion has been shattered. The explosion sent a message not just to Moscow, but to the entire world. Ukraine can and will strike deep into Russian-controlled territory. What's fascinating is the precision of the attack. This wasn't a random strike. Ukrainian sources suggest that advanced drones and long-range missiles were used, possibly coordinated through Western intelligence. The strike hit exactly where it would cause the most disruption, at the heart of the bridge's structure, making repairs nearly impossible in the short term. Within hours, Russian engineers and emergency teams rushed to the scene, but the damage was already catastrophic. Social media erupted almost instantly. Videos flooded Telegram, X formerly Twitter, and YouTube showing massive plumes of smoke rising over the bridge. Some footage appeared to show secondary explosions, possibly ammunition trucks being hit. Russian channels tried to downplay the incident, claiming it was just a minor fire. But as more images emerged, the truth became undeniable. Russia's pride had literally collapsed into the sea. For many Ukrainians, this was a moment of vindication. After months of relentless bombings, drone attacks, and blackouts, seeing the Crimean Bridge in flames felt like justice. Crowds in Kyiv reportedly cheered when the news broke. Across Ukrainian cities, people shared memes and messages celebrating what they saw as a symbolic victory. This wasn't just about military success. It was about morale, about showing the world that Ukraine still has the power to strike back. Meanwhile, in Moscow, the reaction was one of fury and confusion. The Kremlin immediately blamed Ukrainian terrorists, calling it an act of war against Russian territory. Putin held an emergency meeting with his defense council, vowing swift retaliation. Russian officials promised massive consequences, but even within Russia, voices of doubt began to rise. How could one of the most heavily guarded structures in the country be hit so easily? Where was the air defense? How did Ukrainian forces manage to reach so deep inside Russian controlled territory without being detected? These questions are now haunting Russian leadership. The economic consequences are also massive. The Crimean Bridge was a key artery for both military and civilian transport. Thousands of trucks used it every day to bring goods into Crimea. With the bridge destroyed, supplies are now cut off. Prices in Crimea have already begun to skyrocket. Fuel shortages are being reported, and with winter approaching, this could become a humanitarian crisis for residents of the peninsula. Experts say repairing the bridge could take months, maybe even longer. The original construction cost billions and took years to complete. Rebuilding it under constant threat of new strikes will be nearly impossible. That means Russia will have to find alternative supply routes, possibly through the occupied regions of southern Ukraine, routes that are already under heavy attack from Ukrainian forces. Ukraine's strategy here is clear. Instead of direct, large-scale offensives, they're focusing on cutting off Russia's lifelines, logistics, supplies, communication, and morale. Every bridge destroyed, every fuel depot hit, every port disrupted weakens Russia's grip. And this latest attack on the Crimean Bridge is the ultimate example of that strategy in action. But this strike isn't just military, it's psychological warfare. For years, Russian propaganda boasted that Crimea was safe, that it was protected by some of the most advanced defense systems in the world. Now that myth is gone, residents of Crimea are panicking, fearing more strikes. Thousands are reportedly trying to flee the peninsula. Highways are jammed with cars, and ferries across the Kerch Strait are overcrowded. People who once felt safe now feel trapped. Internationally, the reaction has been mixed but significant. Western nations have quietly praised Ukraine's boldness while avoiding direct public endorsement, careful not to escalate tensions further. NATO officials have noted that Ukraine has the right to defend itself and strike military targets used to support the invasion. Meanwhile, countries sympathetic to Russia, like China and Iran, have called for restraint, though their tone suggests concern that Russia is losing control. Putin's next move is uncertain. Historically, after major humiliations like this, he tends to respond with escalation, massive missile barrages, new offensives, or attacks on civilian infrastructure. Already, reports indicate that Russian bombers are preparing for renewed strikes across Ukraine. Kyiv, Odessa, and Dnipro have been placed on high alert. Air raid sirens have been sounding more frequently. The message from Moscow is clear. They will strike back hard. But here's the thing, every retaliation only hardens Ukraine's resolve. Every missile that falls on a Ukrainian city pushes more people to fight. This war, once thought to be decided quickly, has become a battle of endurance, willpower, and strategy. And with this latest strike on the Crimean Bridge, Ukraine has shown that even after years of invasion, occupation, and suffering, it still has the ability to shock the world. The Kremlin's propaganda machine is in overdrive. Russian news outlets are broadcasting stories about Ukrainian terrorism, trying to rally public anger. But even among Russian citizens, cracks are appearing. Social media posts from within Russia show frustration, fear, and disbelief. Many are asking how such a critical piece of infrastructure could be hit again, after multiple past attacks and supposed reinforcements. It's a sign that the illusion of Russian invincibility is fading fast. The destruction of the Crimean Bridge is more than just an explosion. It's a symbol of the war itself, of how things built on aggression and lies eventually collapse. Putin built that bridge to show dominance. Now its destruction shows weakness. It reminds the world that no matter how powerful a regime may seem, it can still crumble under the weight of truth and resistance. And let's not forget the historical significance. Crimea has always been more than a piece of land. It's been a battleground of empires, a place where power struggles have been fought for centuries. From the Ottoman Empire to the Soviet Union to modern-day Russia and Ukraine, Crimea has been the heart of conflict. But this time it's different. This time it's a digital age war where images spread faster than missiles, where perception can change the tide as much as firepower. As the sun rose over the Black Sea the morning after the attack, the images were haunting. Plumes of smoke still rising, twisted steel beams reflecting the dawn light, Russian emergency crews looking powerless. For many, it looked like a metaphor of the end of an era, the crumbling of Putin's grand vision. Across Ukraine, people woke up to hope. Across Russia, people woke up to doubt. And across the world, everyone realized that this war is far from over, but it's changing. Ukraine is no longer playing defense. It's hitting back strategically, surgically, and symbolically. The message is clear. The invaders are not untouchable. In the coming days, the situation will continue to evolve. There will be propaganda, denials, and retaliations, but one fact remains: the Crimean Bridge, once a proud symbol of Russia's control, lies in ruins. And that image, more than any speech or declaration, tells the true story of where this war stands. This moment will echo through history, not just as a military strike, but as a turning point, a sign that even the mightiest powers can be shaken when people refuse to surrender. The flames on that bridge may die down, but their impact will burn for a long time. Thank you for watching, and if you've made it this far, you understand that what's happening isn't just politics, it's history unfolding right before our eyes. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want to stay updated on the latest developments, because the next chapter in this story could change everything. And as the dust settles over Crimea, one thing is certain: the world has just witnessed a strike that changed the course of this war forever. The bridge has fallen, and with it, a symbol of power has turned to ashes. The message is clear: nothing built on injustice stands forever. That's all for today's deep dive into the chaos unfolding in Russia. Until next time, stay aware, stay informed, and remember, history doesn't wait. It's being written right now, in fire, steel, and courage.